Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be hydro dipping my nails in water with the polish that I'm showing you now. We're going to be using orange and yellow. And before we begin hydro dipping it, we are going to be doing a base coat of gel. Normally, I guess you would put white. This was my first time trying it out, and I learned, I guess, the hard way. Of course, I've seen videos before, but I never really studied on it like that. But I think this design would come out best if you put a white color base, white nail polish or white gel. Because it is nude, the colors don't look as vibrant as they should have and I was hoping for, but they did come out really pretty. So we're going to be adding our water into our bowl, and this is just a little glass bowl. This is what I use also for soak offs. So I'm going to be using this pink, the yellow, and an orange from D&D. And the names are pumpkin spice, and I forgot the yellow one. Princess Cupcake, I think, is the pink one. The yellow one, I think, is like honey or honey something. But these colors are really freaking pretty. So this is my first attempt on doing this hydro dip with the polish and water. And so it wasn't working out exactly how I wanted. They did come out and it worked for me, but when I would try to make my little design with the polish, it just wasn't working as much. So the designs, I decided just to kind of go with the flow. And so each one is going to be different. Each nail is going to have a different swirl. There wasn't a specific direction I was trying to anyways. So this was our first one and I liked it. It came out really nice. And so throughout the video, I do go back and take off the ones that I don't like. As I practice more and more on each finger, I kind of get the hang of it. So then I feel comfortable to go back and take off what I had already done. So you'll see me kind of go back and forth on a few fingers just because I could have done better on them, I guess. So once you dip it, the whole thing is that you don't want to just pull out the finger or the nail as soon as you dip it. You want to make sure everything around the bowl is clear. If not, anything in there is going to also attach to the nail and then it's just a hot mess. So this is going to be the second time, and we're just making a little random design. And yeah, so we're gonna do that. And then when you dip, I do start at the end of the nail and then go ahead all the way in. I clean up the water just how I did there, and then it does get messy, so we're gonna just have to have some pure acetone off to the side so that way we can clean up the polish. It is pretty crazy how the polish dries up on the nail. I was a little scared just because how the water and polish dry. I was just like, what the heck? But it actually works. I feel like it dries a bit faster than if you'd be painting the polish on the nail. You do still have to be careful after and during when you're doing this process, because you can bump and scruff up the polish. And I mean, it's easy to start over. You just wipe it off with some acetone, but it does take up more time, so just be mindful of that. And so I like this design. You just want to make sure you clean on the sides of your cuticles, all around your finger and under the finger. Under my fingernails, the polish did kind of go on there, so it did kind of get really messy. It's been a while that I worked with polish, So I was surprised by how hard it was to clean up the polish around my finger nail with acetone. Even though I'm using 100% pure acetone, um, it gets like you have to actually let the acetone do its job and wipe off. It just doesn't wipe off how gel does. And because I do work with gel, yeah, it was just something new for me. And I also learned that when you're doing this little technique, you don't want to add too much towards the middle. You only want to do a few layers, because if the middle layers don't, I guess, get like that tacky consistency, when you do dip, it'll kind of just spill over since it's extra wet, and that just doesn't work out. I believe this happened to this nail. I tried to save it, but it just didn't come out the way I wanted to. So I went ahead and just grabbed a lint-free nail wipe with some pure acetone. Just like that, I just dipped it in there and wiped it all off. I was not having this nail. The other ones were coming out really nice, so I didn't even mind if it wasn't the designs that I was going for. I was going for all the designs to go, like all the swirls to go in the same direction, but unfortunately it was just kind of hard. I'm gonna be practicing more and more, because I really did like this design. For sure, another time when I do it, I now know to put a white base. I think it would have showed just more this time if I would have put white under. But yeah, so the design wasn't really working well with me, so I did what I could, and I made it work. Honestly, the set came out very nice at the end, but it took a lot of tries, a lot of retries actually, and we finally got to the end, right? So I ended up liking this one, and you're okay to kind of wipe off the sides of the nail as well, because you don't want too much clumpiness on the edges. So you just want to make sure you clean up very well. Take your time after each dip. Don't go on to the next one until you wipe that all off. You don't want to let the polish dry on your skin or under the nails or anything like that, only because I feel like it just be harder and it just takes longer to take off the polish when it's already dry onto your nail. Another thing I guess you can also do is you could do all 5 fingers and do a little cleanup, do gel on top, cure, and then I guess go in and with the wipe, with an acetone wipe, and clean that up. But I find this way more efficient, just to keep everything clean in the meantime. So now we're gonna be trying on our, I don't even know what time this was, or how many tries this was, but yeah, so I did block it a little bit without even acknowledging it, just because I was getting a little, I wasn't getting frustrated, but I wanted it to come out very nice. So I was trying to see if maybe I go faster or slower when I'm putting in the polishes. I was trying different techniques, because of course you want to know what's best for you and what's gonna work better, right? So after every dip, you do want to make sure that the water is clean of any polish or anything like that. It's okay if like small little particles are still in there. As long as it doesn't get in the way of your design, you should be fine. So now that we're done with dipping the pinky, we're going to clean it all up. This little cleanup brush works super good. I did get it at my local nail supply store. You could get it at the nail supply store, on Amazon. But this one did really do the job. It's like not too small, not too big, and the bristles are pretty thin. You don't want to go in with a thick one only because we are working very closely with the cuticles. And so if you have a big thick brush, you might end up accidentally removing any polish from the nail, and you don't want to do that, right? So we're going under the nails, just cleaning up a little bit. And I was kind of impressed by my little artwork here, so I was like, okay, it's looking good at least, right? It doesn't look too crappy. So I decided to move on with my thumb, and I didn't start off with any particular color. I was just kind of going back and forth between the polishes. I was doing that on purpose just to see which one would come out cuter. I did feel like adding less pink, only 1 or 2 drops of pink seemed a bit better, because the pink would overpower the yellow and the orange at times. Especially the orange with this one, I feel like it would have popped out more, of course, if I would have added a white base. Or not the orange, I'm sorry, I'm talking about the yellow. I don't even know if I said orange or yellow. But what I was talking about was the yellow. I feel like the yellow would have been very vibrant if my base was white. But unfortunately, we started off like that, and it still came out cute. So on my thumb, I did hydro dip it too low on the design, so my cuticle area was still without any polished design. So I just added a little bit more polish into the water, and I re-dipped it on the cuticle area and just cleaned that up. And honestly, I was surprised because I thought it would have messed up the whole nail, but it actually came out really good, as you can see here. So I think that's an easy quick fix. Like if you like the way that a certain nail came out dipped and you don't want to remove it, just go ahead and redo a little piece of it if you do get into that problem where it doesn't cover the entire nail. So yeah, so we're just gonna clean that all up, and then we're gonna start again with our next finger. And it's kind of weird how the water dries up the polish. I don't know if it's like has to be a certain polish or something like that. I don't know. So this is what I mean when I went back to my pointer finger. That was the first finger that I did do when I was warming up to this little nail art activity. And I thought it came out cute, right? But then as I started doing the other nails, they were looking better and better. So I decided to fix it really quick. And I'm excited, or I'm happy that I did do that, because now when I look at my nails, they're just really pretty, right? So, and also you can do this with any color. You could do this with dark colors, light colors, neon colors, pastel colors. But yeah, so it's just gonna be all kind of the same way that you do it. It just would be with different colors. And so now we're starting on our opposite hand. I still haven't put any top coat onto my left hand. That dried pretty well. I still was mindful and careful when I was touching things, just because I didn't want it to get scruffed up. But I really didn't have a problem with that. So on the thumb here, we did have a little hang nail thingy. It looks like goo just hanging from my thumb. So that happened because I didn't catch the polish with my stick. And I believe you could use anything. You could use a spatula, you could use anything. I would consider to use a wooden cuticle pusher. It works good enough to where you can wipe it, and of course you can throw it away after. You don't want to get one of your spatulas or cuticle pushers all messed up with polish and things like that. So it's just best to use that. Anyways, I changed my angles because I did want you guys to have a better view, and so you guys can see what exactly I do and how I do it and what I'm using. So at this point, I was already getting a little bit tired of the process, so I was trying to rush it. So I was just putting in the polish, color after color, and I just make a little design, dip, and clean up. And a few did not come out, so I had to retry it a few times. So with this type of nail art, I would say you would have to have a lot of patience, because there's no telling if each one is gonna come out the way you want. So here I edited where I did my middle and my ring finger, because I didn't end up liking the design. I'm glad that I ended up doing my pinky over again because it came out super cute. And so when you're doing this type of design, it's okay to go back and forth and just erase what you did and retry it over, only because it's kind of like you're not really gonna, like, you don't know what's gonna come out, what's the outcome of the design, how it's gonna look, if it looks good or not. A good tip though that I am taking myself into consideration now is white base coat. If I had a white base coat under these colors, I feel like they would have popped way more. But because I had a nude, they look cute still, but with the white, it would have made a big difference. So before I finish up a nail and make sure that we're all done on that one, I do clean up very good. I would recommend with pure acetone. With polish remover, it's just not going to really work. You want to use your pure acetone because the polish dries up pretty fast in the water. So the moment you put it on your skin, it's basically dry. So it kind of sticks extra hard, and to save yourself some time, I would use pure acetone. And then we did our ring finger, and I was loving it. Of course, when you first try, I guess you kind of have to warm up, try a couple different techniques. It's not going to all come out good. This was my first time trying out this design, and I'm very happy and proud of myself because they ended up coming out super cute. I was in love. I couldn't complain. So I'm glad that I got to try this design out. Once all the polish was dry, I decided to go in with a gel top coat. So we're just going to coat all of them up. You don't have to put anything on top of the polish because it is 100% dry by the time you go into top coat it. So you just put any type of top coat. You could do matte as well. Actually, you know what? I did matte on these, not glossy. Well, it's a top coat, but I did matte. And I just wanted the colors to look a little bit more artsy, so the matte really helped that. But if you guys are still with me till the end of this video, thank you guys for watching. Make sure, if you guys aren't subscribed already, to subscribe. And if you guys like the video, thumbs up it for me and leave any comments down below. I'll see you guys next time.